Everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is a 5-minute takeaway. Right, so what I thought I might just show you, I've been working without you, sorry, but I've been creating, I've never really done a glue book. Yes, I'm late to the party, but I was in the local newsagents the other day and they had a pile of this year's old diaries and they were selling them for like $1. And I thought, oh, I got to have that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I've got to have that. Now the pages are nice and thin, but it's a week to a day. And then you've got this nice plain colour on the other side, which makes a really good backing colour, I thought. So I thought if I also been cleaning up my studio and I had all of these images, book pages, you name it, it's here. Napkins, stuff. And I've finished so many projects, and even though all these images are glorious, I mean, a lot of them are roses and neutrals, etc., etc., I thought, well, knowing me, the next project I'm going to do is going to be something totally different. So why not do a glue book? And then I had all these old Daphne's Diary magazines, which I just love. I really do. The paper in them is so good, and the images are really glorious. So I started cutting out a few of the images. So these images are from magazines, they're from printables, they're from Daphne's Diaries. And I know it's copyrighted, right? But I mean, I've paid $16 for this Daphne's Diary magazine. I love it. I want to put it in my personal journal. You might remember that beautiful blue velvet one I did recently. So I thought, right, I'm going to, instead of making A4 collage masterboards, which I've got so many of, I might add, this little book's a great size. I mean, it's, what is it, 8.5 by 6, and really, really good size for journal cards, pockets, belly bands, etc., etc. So if I just leave the back of them blank and put together different things that I like in whatever arrangement and glue it down really well, I can then come back at some other point in time. I can collage on top of it, I can inks, I can do stamps, gold paint, but they're here in one place. And I mean, isn't that pretty? I would never have thought to put all that together, but the blues in that work so beautiful. Reds in that. Images that are sort of like they, I don't know what you'd use them for, but for tags and things like that, just stunning. And I'm doing it quickly so that it's kind of like right brain, I think. Is that how you say it? I think it's right brain, where you don't think, but your brain knows what looks good, and the papers that match, and you get it pleasing. I just want it to be pleasing, so that then, and inspiring, and then I can come, as I say, I can paint on them, I can write on them, put gold paint on them. Oh, look, the sky's texture paste. I can use texture paste over the top, but the basis is there, and they're already backed. And even if you left them like this, that is a good tag backing that can still be written on without having to resort to coffee dyed paper, which that's the next thing I need to get in and coffee dye about 100 more sheets of paper. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. 5-minute takeaway. And even with a new picture of Blossom, there's a picture of a house behind there, and then there's a painting and realism as well, and then a vintage. So vintage and modern can go together really well. And I didn't know what else to do to that, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. And that's just a nice free piece of paper out of a Daphne's diary. And that one too. But they're great backgrounds that'll come in handy at some point in the future. And there again, that's a picture of someone's wonderful craft wooden houses, which I love. And a vintage postcard back. And here again, modern watercolours with an ancient, a vintage baggage claim, a vintage card, plus a relatively modern picture of Paris, the Eiffel Tower. So whether I'm going to journal about traveling or whatever in my journal or my diary or my whatever in the future, they'll be all contained here, and so easy to put on my bookshelf and ready to have more playing fun to keep on going. So I thought I'd bring you along. I just got a piece of shiny cardboard. It is shiny. It was off an A4 binder book, but it's a piece of cardboard, and I'm using it as a writing. It just to pop behind there, so that I can glue on. And I'm using tacky glue, which is good. I thought I don't normally like wet glues on paper, but I'm getting to the point where for things like this, I have to start becoming more economical because the art glitter glue is so expensive. I love it, but it's going to be, for certain jobs, whereas this and school glue and PVA can be for this. And that way I'll save my very expensive for certain projects. Everything's going up in the world, isn't it? And I've just got a spotlight card. What a better card to use as a smoosher. And it's bendable. So yeah, that gives me a lovely good contact when the glue goes down wet. So I might just fold this. And that was another, $1, you can't go wrong, can you? And you can just tear out each page, which I like. I like the spiral bound for that. A lot of people make spiral bound journals, but you won't ever find me doing a spiral bound journal. But for this, spiral bound it just comes into its own, doesn't it? So all I do is I have a look through my images and see the tonings that might attract me. That's got a very yellow tone, good size. Don't know if I've got anything else. Actually, there's a napkin. Yeah, no, don't think so. Not at this point. What I need is, where is my little, I've got a little container full of all kinds of gorgeous little labels and pictures. And these leaves, the paper leaves from Susan, is it Susan Brown? I'll try and remember to list it. I just adore those. They're digital, but boy, they're handy. And I've got beautiful cutout roses. Just a matter of finding some beautiful images that'll go together well on the page. The blue, isn't that pretty? I love blue. Let's see, do I have a little... Actually, that might be nice in there. Let's cut that down a bit. Now I've gone all quiet because I'm concentrating. Oh, that's pretty. And I adore that with the children hanging out the washing. That is adorable. Adorable. I need some labels or something. Actually, that's nice. I think that was from Shabby Dabby Doodah, that little image there. I know that's from Ruby and Pearl. That blue flowers off Ruby and Pearl. The cottages, there's something different again. Oh, that is adorable. Oh, I wonder what that'd look like. Isn't that sweet? So all I've got to do now is glue them down, and I've got another amazing page. I can imagine this. Actually, I thought I might get my laminator out. I could rip out 2 of these pages that I like, laminate them front and back together, and have a really sturdy writing board, which would be a great idea. Okay, so we might do the corner one first. I went to my reject shop the other day, and because the tacky glue, whether it's Aleene's or whatever, usually the one from Spotlight I get because I'm in Australia, and the glue bottle was really stiff, and I wanted something I could squeeze better. So I went to the reject shop and they were in the craft section. Yeah, they were. They weren't I don't know what the Sugar Bell ones that everyone talks about it. But it was, I just went along and squeezed, and this is so squeezy, and it's wonderful, easy to fill up. The only thing is I'd love the nozzle to be finer, but hey, you can't have everything, can you? And it's I mean, having said that, you know, I've nearly gone through a bottle of tacky glue already this morning, so I don't know, is that going to be actually cheaper than... It's got to be. It's got to be. And also, the thing I love about tacky glue, as you know, is you've got wiggle room time. Okay, so I might get the blue one down in the corner. I was thinking this morning, oh, I feel like doing another blue seaside journal, or blue themed, I don't know. I mean, it is summer here in Australia. It was spring, but it's still pretty wet actually at the moment. So we're having days where I think it's 23 today. Just nice, mild weather. Okay, so then we'll put this one down. Yeah, the thing with keeping all the digitals, all the offcuts when I make a journal, I've got big boxes now full. And after my recent cleanup, even my ephemera that's ready-made, you've got to call it, haven't you? You think, right, I've got to use this up. I want to use this up. It's usually all or nothing with me. I'm doing a project and that's it. Okay, so that went like that. Yep. So this one next. And these, and the wet glue does stay wet a little bit longer, doesn't it? But by the time it's pressed down, nice and dry. Actually, I'll move it down as low as I can. just to cover that. And I haven't taken the time to go around them with distress ink either, because they'll all be altered eventually again. Oh, that's so lovely. And then make sure that's nice and dry. Squeaky table. Okay, and that's another page. Isn't that adorable? I'm really pleased with those. Really, really, really pleased. So, oh, it's been more than 5 minutes. See, that's lovely. Some simple, some more complex, but all contained. And much better than cutting them up and putting them into lots of little containers that are then forgotten about, which, because I really do have a lot of little containers. Love that page. That is so adorable. What a beautiful picture. She's gorgeous. That's just one sheet of paper from Ruby and Pearl, and that is too. Oh, maybe not from Ruby and Pearl. I'm not sure where that came from. And then just bits of here, bits of there, bits of everything. Love that page. Love the blues. That's so pretty. Anyway, I shall leave you with that little takeaway. In case you're near a shop that sells really cheap discarded diaries, and that's a useful kind of thing to do with it. And I love that backing paper. And it's also got a positive note on it. Be where you are, otherwise you will miss your life. True. True. That's so cute. Oh, I just love it. So even though I'm late to the party with these glue books, I think this is super practical and useful, and I'm going to try and get rid of all the paper scraps I can, and then we might come back and revisit this and just add some further embellishment. Tell me your ideas on what you might think to do with an old calendar or a diary, even last year's diary. A lot of people give them as Christmas gifts, and some people never even write one word in it. Or maybe they just write down, maybe you've got a couple that have just got family birthdays in it. Anyway, I thought that's a great idea. Not mine, not my idea, but yeah, fun. And I'm glad I finally come to the party. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. See ya.